Very good. That's the first act of compassion, is to be present. I'm very, very grateful to be here. This is a special day. It's the International Day of Human Rights. Over 1 million people on the streets in Hong Kong. People are rising everywhere. We know we need to change, but how? I hope together we will answer these questions. When I was a kid, I remember thinking that there must be adult supervision on this planet. That somewhere there were a group of adults that would surely make sure we wouldn't blow it all. Maybe I'm in that room. And maybe our time together can really make a difference. So I want to take a read in the room. I'm going to ask you 2 questions by a show of hands. And I want us to see how we answer this. So how many people think that one day we will live on Mars? If you think one day we'll live on Mars, raise your hand. Look around the room. Okay. How many people think that one day we'll live in peace on Earth? Okay, good. I was afraid there were going to be a lot more people believing we could live on Mars than we can live on Earth in peace. So, I'm very grateful to you, Anantha, and to Abel, Kane, and your remarkable team for convening such a conference. I'm a musician by training, and I lived in New York City for many years where I grew up, and it was 9/11 for me that changed my life and led to me saying I couldn't stay on the sidelines anymore. And I moved to Seattle, and I have a history with building companies that linked up many people to use technology for collaboration. And then in 2008, His Holiness the Dalai Lama visited Seattle for an event called the Seeds of Compassion. And it was there where I became to see the importance of compassion. And we started the Compassionate Cities campaign. And there's over 450 cities around the world. This is inspired by Karen Armstrong's Charter for Compassion. But one city in the United States was outstanding, was Louisville, Kentucky. And we honored their mayor and their good work. And then he wrote me a letter and said that Louisville was the most compassionate city in the world and would be so till proven otherwise. I'm from Brooklyn. I said, what? What do you mean you're the most compassionate city in the world? That started the Compassion Games, the survival of the kindest. We call these co-opetitions. You cannot lose the Compassion Games. And the root of the word competition is competere, which means to strive together. So we're culture hacking the idea of kindness and the idea of service and the gift that it is. When I was invited to come to this conference, I gave some thought. I looked at the conference note and I saw the objective of how are we going to mainstream social emotional learning. And this was the question I had as I designed this game. Now, I've had the good fortune to study and play the games all over the world. They've played compassion games in prisons. But I had an experience when I went to Ethiopia, where we took the compassion torch and the lamp of unity and the peace flame that ran around the world in 1986. And I met David Gershon. And David said to me, John, it's amazing what you've done with Compassionate Cities and the Compassion Games, but it isn't going to make any difference if we don't have behavior change at scale. He said, doing kind things is nice, but we need to change our direction. If we don't change our direction, we're likely to wind up where we're headed. And we need behavior change at scale. So when we went to Ethiopia, we formed an alliance. It's called the Synergized Impact Network Exchange. And we started a network exchange because we saw that there's so many good efforts to do good in the world, but we haven't learned how to play together yet. So I'll give you an example of how this alliance now works with a reach of over 50 million people. We have a game called Let's Make Waves. I'm an administrator on over 250 Facebook pages. When an alliance member goes live, we turn that stream into a wave by automatically sharing it. So that we're looking for ways that we can empower each other to strengthen the work that we're doing. This was for me so obviously missing. I'm a musician, and I've learned that playing at the same time isn't the same as playing together. And learning how to work together is an art as well as a science. So I put together a compassion game for our conference. And I'm inviting you to play. And I'm going to show you what these missions are. And the vision that we have, like in the games, is to foster creativity, to develop empathy into action. But that together we can synergize. And together we can take on the challenge that was put forward to put out a call for action, to put into the mainstream social emotional learning. And we all know that a conference isn't enough. So we already have in place what we call public assemblies. We've been using Zoom to convene hundreds of people online. So this conference is a seed crystal, part of a bigger movement that I hope that we will embrace together in our time together and actually see that we're here making history. And we're going to move forward on the call for action to how are we going to mainstream and make dominant in educational systems social and emotional learning. So I'm going to introduce the game. Now, how many of you already got your guidebook? If you're having trouble with that, we want to help you with that. Because the missions and so much of what's happening here is in the palm of your hands. So I'm going to introduce you to 5 missions that make up this compassion game. Now remember, you can't lose the compassion games. The goal is not victory, it's fulfillment, continuous improvement, so that actually we'll have an experience of what it is to be in a transformative space as we turn what we have into what we need. So here I'm going to click a little bit. Let's see if this works. All right. Mean to create an environment with gender equality and human rights and promoting a culture of peace and nonviolence. How many of you saw this Kumu map? Have you seen this? It's on the website. Okay, we're going to be using Kumu. Kumu is a Hawaiian word for the source of wisdom. And it's a very interesting tool to help visualize. You can click on the bottom and see the themes, theme 1, theme 2, and it would highlight who's speaking when, day 1, day 2, day 3. We're going to use a number of Kumu maps to play this game. Admin on 250 Facebook pages if there wasn't real trust. So one of the goals in this game is to establish authentic trust amongst each other and to create the results needed to achieve that conference objective of a call to action to mainstream social emotional learning. It is my intent that this game be fun, enriching, engaging, and interactive. We're going to synergize to create brave, kind, fun results. And the game's going to empower us to experience the values that we share, inspire us to act together, and to find courage in each other and hope in our solidarity. There are so many people rooting for us and this conference, our ancestors and future generations. May this turn the tide. Okay, the first mission, bridging our differences, befriending the other. So this first mission is to create harmony in the conference and more wholeness in ourselves by befriending those who are different. This mission invites us to get out of our comfort zone and befriend someone that perhaps you would not typically approach. And you're going to earn unlimited points for this mission. Now, how do you do that? So the idea is to go up to someone you don't know. And again, perhaps someone that you typically wouldn't go up to. And these 4 points, this comes from the work of Marshall Gans. Very insightful, gets right to the heart. Tell me, what is the change that you want to make in the world? Why do you want to make that change? Share a story that led to the commitment you've made to bring about that change. And share with your partner how you're going to make that change happen. Then what we want you to do is take a picture of the two of you together or the three of you together and upload that picture. There's a form inside your guidebook. Each mission, these words that are here are in your hand, as well as a link to a form in which you upload the photo of you befriending another. Now you get 2 points for each person you connect with. Mission 2, collaboratively. We use the phrase you saw in the concept note, collaborative intelligence. Over the next couple of days, the map is going to grow because we're asking you to give us all the names of organizations and people that you're aware of that are in this field that would be interested in being part of the movement to mainstream social. For about 40 days after this conference, we're going to convene on the plains of Zoom. Hundreds of people that aren't at the conference, and many of you who are here, I hope all of us, to build upon the seed crystal that we birthed while we were here together. So if you commit to promise to invite those people to 20 bonus points. Mission 2, as you want to and for as long as you'd like to. The unitive impulse. We want to experience and sell a Lakota word for gratitude. And we're asking you to share what you're grateful for. And I'm going to play now 2 videos of short examples. UNESCO honored reggae music. And one of my partners in this is Pato Bantan, a very well-known Grammy Award-winning reggae artist. And first you're going to see Pearl Gottschalk. So I'm going to play for you. Let's see if this is set up to work this way. What we ask you to do is hold the torch, introduce yourself. Tell us what you're grateful for. Tell us what's your wish for the world and who you want to pass the torch to. And then together we're going to celebrate our shared humanity. We have hundreds of these videos.